السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فصل فيما يؤخذ بالمشفوع. قال: وإذا حد البائع عن المشتري بعد الثمن سقط ذلك عن الشفيع، وإن حد جميع الثمن لم يسقط عن الشفيع، لأن حد البعد يلتحق بأصل العقد فيظهر في حق الشفيع، لأن الثمن ما بقي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So now we move on to another chapter after discussing the ikhtilaf that can occur between the Shafi and the Mushtari and the Ba'i and the Mushtari. And this with regards to the price, the thaman, and in what things are you allowed to take shufa. Remember before we said that it must be a cash sale. And it can't be in lieu of a hiba or what you call dia and so on and so forth, or mahar and so on, okay? So now we're going to discuss what things will necessitate a cash sale or will lead or be counted as a cash sale. Understood? So he's saying, فَصْلٌ فِيمَا يُؤْخَذُ مَشْفُوعٌ. The chapter regarding those things for which shufa is eligible, or shufa can be taken. The house which is up for shufa can be taken. وإذا حط البائع قال الإمام قدي رحمه الله وإذا حط البائع عن المشتري بعد الثمن يسكت ذلك عن الشفيع. But if the buyer, the seller, has a discount from the buyer, part of the price, part of the selling price, if he has to discount it, يسكت ذلك عن الشفيع, and that amount will also be discounted from the shafi. Otherwise, the shafi, he will benefit from that discount as well. It will be passed on to him. Why? Because it is towards his advantage, it is towards his benefit. وإن حط جميع ثمن لم يسقط عن الشفيع. However, if he was to discount the entire amount, otherwise never mind take it, okay? Then that whole amount will not be discounted from the shafi. And because this has now become a gift, a hiba basically, and it's gifted the house away to that person. لأن حط البعض يلتحق بأصل العقد فيظهر في حق الشفيع. Why? Discounting a portion of the price, a percentage of the price, will be joined to the actual transaction as if that was the original price to begin with. So you originally put it up for sale for 50,000, for example. The person came along, maybe he knows the person, he said, okay, man, give me 40,000, take it. Okay? So that 40,000 will be the selling price, as if 40,000 is the selling price. Therefore, the shafi will take it at that price, 40,000. We won't look at the original price given up for sale for. لأن الثمن ما بقي, or because the selling price, whatever remains after the discount. وكذا إذا حط بعدما أخذ الشفيع بالثمن يحط عن الشفيع حتى يرجع عليه بذلك. And similarly, if he was to discount the amount after the shafi took the house in lieu of the original asking price, and so he put it up for sale for 50,000, the person paid 50,000. Then the shafi came along and claimed Yusuf, understood? And he paid his 50,000. After having done that, the original owner told the seller, okay, the original seller told the buyer, okay, never mind, you know what, here's 10,000 back. And since you didn't get the house in any case, 10,000 and consolation, okay? I want the, here's 10,000 consolation. So in that case there, then too, that amount will be discounted from the shafi, so that he will be able to, he will be able to ask for a refund in accordance to that amount. Okay, so you can go back to the mushtari and tell him, you know what, you discounted 10,000, give me back 10,000. Understood?
Okay.
So whether he discounted the price before or after the Shafi took it, either way the Shafi will be entitled to the discount as well. In short, that's what the Masna is. بخلاف حط الكل, contrary to when if he was to discount the entire amount. لأنه لا يلتحق بأصل العقد, because in this instance it will not be associated, it will not be joined to the original transaction. It will not be joined to the original transaction under any circumstance, irrespective of whether it's happened before or after. وقد بيناه في البيوع, and we have already explained this in Kitab al-Buyu, just before Kitab al-Riba. And the reason for this is very simple, because if you was to discount the entire amount, then like I said, this will become a hiba, a gift. This will become a gift. So when it's a gift, basically the intention, the purpose would be what, or the result would be what?
Yes.
If we not count it as a gift by discounting the whole amount, then what happens?
There's no مبادلة المال بالمال.
There's no mubatul mal bil mal, so therefore there's no shufa. You follow? So we will say that this is now a strategy to try and remove the haqq of the shafi. Therefore, we won't accept them in the right of the shafi. In regards to the shafi, the whole amount will be discounted, because then there'll be no bay. If there's no bay, there's no shufa. Okay? Yeah.
قال وإن زاد المشتري البائع في الثمن لم تلزم الزائدة الشفيعة، لأن في اعتبار الزائدة ضررا بالشفيع لاستحقاق الأخذ بما دونها، بخلاف الحد لأن فيه منفعة له
منفعة
منفعة له.
منفعة لأن خبر فلان. Stopping there. Okay. وإن زاد المشتري للبائع. Right now, what if the mushtari, the buyer, gave more than the asking price? Okay. The house was 50,000. The mushtari family said, okay, man, take 60 or 55. Okay. I'm very happy with the house. It's below market value. Take 55. Okay. Practicing on the sunnah. لم تلزم الزيادة في حق الشفيع. This extra amount over and above the asking price will not become compulsory upon the shafi to pay as well. لأن في اعتبار الزيادة ضررا بالشفيع. Why? Because in taking into consideration the extra, the surplus, this will cause harm to the shafi. لاستحقاقه الأخذ بما دونها. Why? Because he is entitled to take the house for less than that. He is entitled to take it at the asking price. بخلاف الحد, contrary to discount. لأن فيه منفعة ومنفعة له, because in that there is benefit for him. Then it is beneficial to him, so therefore we will consider it there. ونذير الزيادة إذا جدد العقد بأكثر من الثمن الأول لم يلزم الشفيع حتى كان له أن يأخذها بالثمن الأول لما بينا كذا هذا. And an example of adding extra to the price, the selling price, or another, I could say, scenario of extra being added, is if the transaction was renewed. Remember we did yesterday? He sold the house once, and for some reason or other, he canceled the transaction and then resold it to the same person at a higher price. So they said he'll explain why that is. So this is where it's coming in here. So this whole thing was a fulfillment of that promise there. So if the transaction is renewed for more than the original price, I mean, well, more than the first price, more than the original price, and that also will be taken as ziyada ala thaman. So therefore, the same as will apply, that it will not, the shafi will not be burdened, will not have to pay that. So to the extent that therefore he can take the house for the original asking price for the reason you explained before. So so the same thing will apply here as well. Okay. What was he explained before? That the nasakh in his hakush in the hakush shafi there is no nasakh. For him, it's like the deal was done. There are two transactions taking place. The cancellation of the first transaction doesn't affect him in any way. As an outsider, all he sees is that this house was sold twice. Okay.
So he can take it at the first price.
Yes, he can take it at either price that he wishes to. So obviously, he will take it at the lesser price. He's entitled to take it at the lesser price. You won't have to take it at the higher price.
قال ومن اشترى دارا بعرض أخذ الشفيع بقيمته لأنه من ذوات القيم.
Right. So now that was regards to discounts or not. Now we're discussing the actual mal that is being used to purchase the house. So, so he's saying that whoever buys a house in lieu of ard, so he's not buying it for cash, he's buying it for kind, ard, some physical thing he's buying it for. As for example, he's selling his car, very expensive BM, for example. He's trading the BM for the house. Okay? The BM is going at $750,000, whatever. So he's trading the BM for the house, or it's got a Bugatti maybe. So whatever the case is, it's in kind. So the Shafi will take the house, in lieu of the value of that item. He doesn't have to give the same item, but he will give the value of that item. So we have the item evaluated, how much is this in cost, in money, in cash, and he will give that amount. Why? لأنه من ذوات القيم. Because generally, our urud is from ذوات القيم. Now we touched on this, or we did this in Usul al-Shashi, and we might have done this in Kitab al-Buyu as well. I mean, if you've done Kitab al-Buyu. Things are of two types, ذوات القيم or ذوات الأمثال. ذوات القيم means it has a value. You can't find the like of it in the market, or there is no like of it in the market. Each one is it's an individualistic thing. Understand? There is no like of it, either as far as the Sharia is concerned, or as far as the market is concerned. Okay? Or I think so that's called Zawatul Qiyam. When there's no like for it, then you have to pay the value of that item. Okay? Or there is a like for it, Zawatul Amthal and what Mithal. And there is a Mithal, it's mass produced. You find hundreds of copies of it in the marketplace. In that case, there you will pay the like of it. Okay? So he's saying that our rules, these kind of items, they are Zawatul Qiyam. They are from those things that has no like in the market. You won't find something exactly like that. So therefore, you will pay the value. وَإِنِ اشْتَرَاهَا بِمَكِيلٍ, for example, a slave. And he sold it for a slave, like, just to make it a bit more easier to understand. Or he sold it for a flock of sheep or whatever, understand? وَإِنِ اشْتَرَاهَا بِمَكِيلٍ أَوْ مَوْزُونٍ أَخَذَ بِمِثْلِهِ. And if he purchased it, the buyer purchased it for something which can be weighed or measured, then in that case, the Shafi will take the house in lieu of its like. And so he sold it for a ton of wheat or a ton of barley. And in that case, the Shafi has to also give a ton of barley or a ton of wheat. He cannot give the value of it. لأنهما من ذوات الأمثال. Why? Because things which are measured and weighed are from those things which have a similar kind can be found in the marketplace. It's commonplace. Okay. وهذا لأن الشرع أثبت لشفيع ولاية التملك على المشتري بمثل ما تملكه. This is because the Sharia has established the right of the Shafi, the authority to take over ownership from the Mushtari. in lieu of the like of what he became the owner of the thing for. You follow?
yeah,
فيراعى القدر بالممكن فيراعى بالقدر الممكن. So we will take into consideration what was paid to the best possible extent. We will take into consideration what he paid to the best possible, to the best of our ability. كما في الأتلاف or إتلاف, as in the case of when something is destroyed, as we did, understand? So if a person destroys something which is Dawatul Qiyam, a designer watch maybe, or it's a custom shoes, or something like that, as you know, a sheep, then he kills some sheep, then he has to pay what? You'll have to pay the value, but you won't find the like of it in the market. And if he destroyed something which is commonplace, a pair of flip flops or whatever, understand? Something like that. Then in that case, yeah, he has to pay. He has to find the like of it. And he has to find that exact model and thing and give it to the person. You can't give the value of it. So the same way here. Now I say, well, adil mutaqarib. This is the third thing. Adadiyul mutaqarib is those things which are sold by number. They're not sold by mass or value, but they're sold by number. Like for example, eggs and so forth. Okay. So those things which are sold by number and they similar to each other, not exactly, but they are similar. Like one dozen jumbo eggs is similar to another dozen of jumbo eggs. You follow?
yeah,
Then look more. They are more or less the same. You're not gonna be technical about it. How much is each gram? How much grams is each egg and so forth? You're not gonna look at that. They're very similar. Nuts, peanuts, and stuff like that. And so those are things that's sold by number. Oranges, maybe stuff like that. Okay, wait. Those that our time is sold by weight. Okay, our time is sold by weight. Okay. Although some fruit sellers, especially on the roadside, they'll sell it by number, two for 15 rand or three for 20 rand, whatever the case. Anyway, adatul mutaqarib are those things which are sold by number and they are similar to each other in their features and everything. Means Zawat al-Amthal, they are also part of Zawat al-Amthal. So if you broke somebody's dozen jumbo eggs, you have to go buy a dozen jumbo eggs for that person. Understood?
yeah,
Okay, so this was just all part of explaining as to what was used to buy the house. If it is from Zawat al-Qiyam, you must pay the amount. You must pay the value of it. If it is from Makili or Mawzuni, it can be measured or weighed, so by mass in other words, then he has to pay that exact thing because those are from the Zawat al-Amthal. And Adl Mutaqarib is also included under the Zawat al-Amthal. Right. وإن باع إيقارا بإيقار أخذ الشفيع كل واحد منهما بقيمة الآخر. And if he sold land for land, property for property, and I've got a property in Lansdowne, I'll sell you this property for your property in Ottery. Sense similar square meterage, whatever, similar utilities and so forth. So we'll swap property, my property for yours. The Shafi can take each one of them in for the value of the other. Right? So for example, if he is the neighbor of the one in Lansdowne, he can take the one in Lansdowne's in the house for the value of the property in Ottery. Sorry, I don't know the place's names in PE, right? So I'm using Cape Town example. Um, لأنه بدله. Why? Because that other property is is the exchange for it, is the price of it. Well, what means the Zawatul Qiyam? And a property is from the Zawatul Qiyam. It is something which has value. It's not the Zawatul Amthal. You won't find exactly the same thing uh, anywhere else. فيأخذه بقيمته, so therefore he will take the house in view of its value, of the value of the other property. Hello?
yeah.
James, no?
قال وإذا باع بثمن مؤجل فلشفيع الاختيار، إن شاء أخذها بثمن حال وإن شاء صبر حتى ينقضي الأجل ثم يأخذها، وليس له أن يأخذها في حال بثمن مؤجل.
Right. Now, another aspect of buying and selling is credit and cash sale. So does that make a difference to the Shafi? Will that make a difference with the credit or cash sale? So he's discussing that in this one. وإذا باع بثمن مؤجل. If the house was sold, um, if the house was sold for ثمن مؤجل, meaning on credit. If the house was sold on credit, فالشافعي على خيار. In this case, the Shafi has a choice. What is the choice? Number one, إن شاء أخذ بثمن حال. If he wants to, he can take the property for cash. He will not be afforded the credit facility. Understood? ثمن حال cash. وإن شاء صبر. And if he wants to, second choice, if he wants to, he can be patient. حتى ينقضي الأجل, until the expiry of the credit. The person gave him 5 months to pay, he can wait 5 months. ثم يأخذها, then at that time he can take it. وليس له أن يأخذها. However, he doesn't have this choice. What can't he do? ليس له أن يأخذها في الحال بثمن مؤجل. He cannot claim the house immediately on credit and pay on credit. Okay? So he only has those two choices mentioned in the beginning. He doesn't have this. Like I said, this credit will not be transferred from the mushtari to him. Okay? وقال زفر. يا كرم.
وقال الزفر رحمه الله له ذلك، وهو قول الشافعي رحمه الله في القديم، لأن كونه مؤجلا وصف في الثمن كالزيافة والأخذ بالشبعة به، فيأخذها بأصل وهو وصفه كما في الزيوف.
So Imam Zufar Rahmatullah, he says, وقال زفر رحمة له ذلك. Imam Zufar says, no, he does have the right to do that. He can take it immediately on credit. And this is also the opinion of Imam Shafi Rahmatullah fi al-Qadim. And Imam Shafi Rahmatullah's former opinion was this as well. Why? What is the reason for that? Imam Zufar Rahmatullah's argument? لأن كونه مؤجلا وصف في الثمن. He says, why? Because credit is an attribute of the asking price. Understand? We say ثمن الدين or ثمن النقد. So it is an attribute of the amount being asked. That you're going to pay 50,000 on credit over 5 months, whatever the case is. Understood? Because the Yafati like having alloyed coins. That's what came in Usul Shashi. Understand? I told you this is where in those days using gold and silver. So the money was not of the top quality gold and silver, but it was mixed with another metal, decreasing its value, so to speak. Understand? So like Kaziyafadik, like alloyed coin. Well, so it's saying like how if a person had to pay 50,000 of Zuyuf coins, then the Shafi would also pay 50,000 Zuyuf coins. He won't pay proper dirhams and dinars, proper gold and silver coins. Okay. والأخذ بالشفعة به فيأخذه بأصله, and his right or his entitlement to the shufa is with the price, is in lieu of the price. بأي بثمن, is in lieu of the price. So therefore, he will take the shufa بأصله ووصفه, by its original price together with the attribute of its original price. Okay. كما في الزيوف, as is the case of allied coins, as I just explained now. Do you understand Imam Zufar Ahmed review? He says that this is the quality of the amount being paid. So you can't separate a quality from its a sifat from its mawsuf. So same thing here. You can't that automatically will have to be passed on to the shafi. You can't say no. You're entitled to take it, but you must pay cash. Okay? So what we say, وَلَنَا, then our dalil, our view is this: أن الأجل إنما يثبت بالشرط. That this credit is only established by a condition, and between the buyer and the seller, they came to this agreement that I will pay you in 5 months or over 5 months. Okay, so this has to be stipulated. It's not part of the original act. It only comes into place if it is stipulated by the متعاقدين. ولا شرط فيما بين الشافعي والبائع, and is no such precondition put into place between the shafi and the seller. والمبتاع, and neither with the buyer. مبتاع means mushtari. Okay, no such condition exists. وليس الرضا به في حق شفي, and he's being pleased with him, meaning with or being pleased with it. Understand? في حق شفي, and is also no consent, you can say, to the shafi. There's no consent with regards to the shafi in extending him credit. Otherwise, the buyer, although he's happy to extend credit to the mushtari, the seller, sorry, is happy to extend credit to the mushtari, he might not be happy to extend credit to the shafi. Why? لتفاوت الناس في الملاءة, because people differ with regards to financial security. Mala'ati means wealth. Okay? Ghina. People differ with regards to wealth, meaning financial security. So you might know that this guy is good for it. He will pay me on credit, but he doesn't know whether the shafi will be able to do so. So you, as happened in the business, you might be happy to give credit to one person, but you won't do so to the next person because each person is different. You follow?
Okay.
وليس الأجل وصف الثمن. Now we asking him Zufar and telling him, his time up, that you're saying that the credit is a wasf of the asking price. You're saying it's not a wasf of the asking, it's not an attribute of the thaman. Okay, let's be quiet. Okay, we'll continue from there tomorrow, inshallah, so we can complete it. Understood till there? Did you understand till there? Any question? Can you hear me? Lukman? Are you still there? Maf, can you hear me?
I lost you. I lost you there, man.
Where did you lose me?
When you just started there, ماذا وليس أجل وصف الثمن.
Okay, the time is up. We'll continue from there tomorrow, inshallah. We'll start from there again, inshallah. This will require some explanation. Inshallah. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واحلل عقدة من لساننا في أقوالنا نوّر قلوبنا بمعرفتك واشرح صدورنا من نور كتابك وسنة نبيك واحفظنا عن زل وقطع في بيان مرادك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.